What's up, folks? It's like we finally figured out 1080p. It's crazy. This is the real news, right? This is the big shebang. You boys in 1080p. Make sure my audio is coming through. Come on. It's like we finally figured out. All right, we're good. We're Groovy Grapes. We did it. Let me know if the music's too loud. Keep me appraised, folks. We're working today on well, right now I'm fixing some compiler warnings, and I should bump this bad boy up. All right, that's a lot better, I think. All right. So I'm working on some compiler errors or warnings real quick. Looks like I already got them all done, so we're good. Update, igniter, and resolve compiler warnings. Beautiful. Let me get my dashboard up. Where is my restream? Nice. All right. We're in. Hey, Peter. You know, I watched your episode on Elixir Friends talking about all of the trouble of figuring out how to actually stream and the quality and all that stuff. And I've got some amateur level setup stuff done, specifically with like I've got one of those little lights. I don't even know what they're called, but you know, I've got that. I've got a decent audio setup and all that. But man, it's complicated. It's a complicated world. And like Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn, I don't know. Everybody wants different crap. It's pretty wild. But I'm getting there, figuring it out. Had a guest on stream recently, so I'm probably gonna do some more of that over time. It's interesting, like doing some pairing on stream. Yeah. So what we are working on is pretty crazy. What we have is this hashauthentication.patch.add strategy task. So the job of this thing is to add password authentication to your Ash application, to add a given strategy, right? So we have password at the moment. It's the first one that we're doing this way, and I've got this thing almost done. I've done some work for confirmation, not that kind of confirmation. Confirm. Actually, maybe I haven't done this. So the only thing really left to do on this bit is got a whole bunch of code in here, right? And I'll just demo it here in a second. That's the real thing to do. But let me shrink my little window here a bit. So y'all can see better. Yeah. So the only thing left to do, I believe, thanks Peter, I appreciate it, is to get the actual password DSL strategy sort of set up. And I remember actually this is what I was working on here, which is I was working on add new strategy, right? So if we look at the password setup guide, what it wants you to do is to configure a password strategy that contains at minimum, my display just quit for a second there. See if I don't think that affected the stream, but we'll see. So we configure the identity field at minimum, and that should be all that we actually need to do. So what we need is we need a add new strategy option. And luckily in Ash, we have something very similar. We have an add new attribute, and that's pretty much the same thing. Here, I think add new attribute. So we don't need the, yeah, I guess we can do it this way. So we have, this is the general structure. So we can close Spark. Okay. So we have, yeah, add new strategy. And then we'll do this. We'll say define strategy. Yeah, we have the user resource, so this will work. It's funny, when I take out my AirPods, it pauses the music. Man, technology, right? It was a mistake. All right. Yeah, and then if defines, then we'll say add strategy. Easy enough. All right, so now we need the, we want the defines attribute implementation. So this is pretty interesting, like how this actually works is based off of what Spark knows about how your DSLs work. Which is, I wonder if I should put a background on the chat window, because like it just looked really bad on the, instead of being transparent. Yeah, I don't know, I'll figure that out. But it has to look inside of all of your DSL files or all of their fragments. And a fragment is like a way that we can split up a data structure. You can think of it almost like a reference in like a JSON schema type situation. And let me pull this up. Yeah. So what we want to do is we have to use this spark.igniter.find, and then we're going to enter, enter section. Let's see, that is something that is in Ash. We need that as well. Enter section. Probably make this, public function in there, but for now it's a small thing. So yeah, we're just going to move to function. Okay. So where we want to go, if we look at the password guide, is the authentication section, then the strategy section. So we don't need all this crazy crap. Yeah, okay. Just need this. So, and we also don't need move to one of function called, because there's only the one. So we can say igniter.code. Maybe I'll do this so that the chat will, no, I just need to figure out how to give the chat its own background window. Maybe I can do it with CSS. Let's see. If I go to restream chat, it's like background black. Well, that worked. No, it didn't work. It has no background. There's a way to configure this on Restream. I can see what they do. And then if I edit it, it will, let's see, chat, no more, set a chat overlay, chat settings, come on. Okay, so I have a scale, show me compact mode. I don't see, is there really not a way for me to add a background? Appearance. Scale, show viewer counter, compact mode. Oh, you know what? I think I know what I need to do. Just need to copy the chat overlay. Okay, here we go. Settings. Background opacity. Let's try 50%. Does that affect? going. Welcome in. Okay, I'm going to try to replace the chat with a less transparent window. I don't know that one. This one. It's kind of interesting. Okay, 50% is not enough. We got progress. Let's make it 60 and 80. Okay. Alright, so that might be better. Now it just needs to be fully, I think it just needs to be 100%. 100% is the answer. Alright. Refreshing. Alright, we'll do it this way. We put it at the very bottom corner though, so it's not. Yeah, alright. Kind of big though. Alright, that'll have to do, and I guess I'll just move my window a bit over. Looks like crap. I gotta figure this out. Yep, we're finally in 1080p. It's a big deal. I don't know why it took me so long to figure out, but we're here. We made it. Alright. Music is a bit too loud. Let me put that down. Do that in the mixer, I think. Oh yeah. It is really loud. I thought I lowered this down, but. Alright, that should be like half. Let me know how that is. Alright. So we want to igniter.code.function.move to, you know what I also want to do? Just restart this whole thing because that usually fixes whatever problem I was having. Move to function. Move to function call. Where is it? Yeah, right here. Okay. Move to function call in current scope. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. It's pretty high. I'm probably using up like half the whole internet's bandwidth with this sick 1080p setup. Maybe I ought to like crank this bad boy down to like what, 720, 380. How low can you? How low does YouTube let you go? We'll go there. All right, so we are gonna move to. Actually, we don't need this. So first we're going to go to the authentication section. And then we are going to go to the strategies section. Cool enough. I always get the cool kids hopping into my stream for like 2 seconds and then they get bored because this is boring stuff sometimes. I've tried to figure this out. Like I want to like live stream and share my work. But also, like, my work is often really like low level stuff that comes together in big things later, and it's not. I don't know. Like, I feel like I don't know. I've thought about like maybe I should just be building like stuff with Ash instead of building Ash on live stream. But I also like don't have time. Too much crap I have to do. So I don't know. I'm hoping that maybe with the book, when we get, you know, we're not there yet, but as maybe when that starts to sort of wind down a little bit and this effort I'm on, which is on behalf of the book, gets a little bit more, I don't know, closer to the finish line, then maybe I actually will have some more time to stream some more fun things like that. Okay, so we're gonna go to, if we move to function call in current scope, okay, zipper name arity. So we want to find a strategy. So this will be password. Well, this is interesting. I need to know the type Okay, yeah, that makes sense, Barnabas. I feel you on that. It's like I also gotta like I don't know. I gotta do what I do. You know, I'm not really like your SaaS builder. I'm like your SaaS builder, whatever you want to call it. Um, so this is pretty interesting. We don't have a static set of strategies to move to, which sucks. Because any entity in the strategies block here, this can be extended, can have the name password. So probably what I'm gonna do, this should be defined strategy, is actually require that you give me the type of strategy for now, because we don't need to make this super generic, so it'll be type. Right. So now I can move to the type here of arity. Actually, it doesn't really matter, but I'm gonna go with one or two for now. Okay. And then we want to say, we want it to find a call to the function that is type, so password, where the first argument equals the name that you're looking for. So pretty much, yeah, what that was already, but okay. So if we find in the authentication section, in the strategies section, a function call that is the type, that is of the name you gave us, maybe we'll call this like constructor to make this kind of clearer what it is. So if we find this, I'm also curious, is my text like big enough? Like now that it's actually like higher resolution, can I make my text a little bit smaller, or does it have to stay this embiggened? Okay. So this will take a type. Hold up. Oh, I see it. Okay. So this would be contents. Okay, I'm gonna go 2 smaller, and then we'll see, tweak based on feedback. Okay, cool. So add strategy, we're gonna copy the add attribute for this, which uses add block. Is that a private function? Wow. Ignited resource, okay. Find an update module, move to function call in current. Oh, damn. We can't use this add block because it's expecting to use a 1 level thing. I was hoping I could call that function, but that's fine. Okay, so add strategy, and this will be type contents. Okay. Authentication dot strategies. Okay. This should have a spec too. Oh, we have type, atom, name, atom, contents, string. Cool. So now I can just copy this because it's going to be the same thing, but without new. Oh, right, yeah. Maybe I'll just do this and yeah, I've been trying to figure this out because I feel like this looks bad. Like if I just have white space on the right side. Oh man, the ads are so big. They'll be gone soon, but whatever. Nice. All right, cool. See, we're dialing it in, folks. All right. So this is now add strategy. That's not how that works. Okay. So here we're going to use this this big block that we copied here. But we can do this. So that's nice. Okay, so now we're in the strategies section. And oh, this is interesting. We actually need to, there may be, yeah, we have to think about this. They may not have the authentication block, right? And in which case we need to do something different. They may have the authentication block, but no strategies block, in which case we need to do something different. And also I need the zipper, the zipper above it for this to work. Let's do it this way, and this will be the zipper up. We'll call this authentication zipper. So we don't care about that here. Okay, so let's for now though assume that they've got both. And in that case, I don't need that. So in that case, we're gonna do it by just igniter.code.common.add code zipper. And then the code we're going to add is actually, they should have, yeah, it'll be the full contents here. So that's it for that block. And then what we need to do, we need to handle though, is these else cases. So we'll say, okay, if they didn't have the authentication block, right? So this would be like this. Then we need to add code to the top level bit of the resource.code.common.add code. And then this is going to look like this. We're going to say, okay, well, it's authentication do, and then it's going to be their code. And then if they didn't have this, they had the authentication block, but not the strategies block, then we're going to, we have the authentication zipper. We'll just call this zipper. And here we're going to do it like this. Oh no, wait, no, this is, I have to say, we have to add the strategies. Right, yeah. So now in here, we're just going to add strategies. Okay. Ooh, yeah, that's a bit of a mind bender, but we're like inserting into a nested structure like this. And so we have, I think I could automate this, to like do this sort of nested logic automatically, but it's just not worth the squeeze right now. So I'm not going to do it. But this is interesting. So we don't actually need the type or the name to actually do the addition of the strategy because it's not checking the type or the name. We only need that if we want to do this add new strategy to check if it defines the strategy. Cool. So now what we're going to do, and this is actually, assuming that code actually works, but it's quite simple. Ash authentication dot igniter. Is that what it's called? Igniter? Yeah. Okay. So we add new strategy. What's the API? Add new strategy or igniter. Okay. So resource. So this will be, let me just copy this over. Yeah. Narrow splits like this are annoying. I have like an ultra wide I'm used to using. All right, let me see. I can't read that chat. I gotta go to this window. It's the one thing I feel like Restream could be better. Wouldn't it be easier to first ensure most outer, then ensure inner, and then add contents? That's an interesting point. So what you're saying is in Igniter here, what we would do is we would like, what am I looking at? Yeah, we would do something like ensure authentication and then go into it. And then ensure, yeah, we have the same monitor, I think, Barnabas. It's really nice, but it's hard for sharing. So yeah, that's a good point. We could do it that way. I think I'm not going to, just because this is done. But if this isn't done, yeah, I think I'm gonna. Oh, and this isn't quite right. This needs to return okay. But I do think you're right. That's probably would have been a better way to do it. So add strategy, this will be options. user, and then we have the type, so this will be password, and then we have the name, which we default to password, and then the contents, which we are going to build dynamically. Is this, I'm not sure, I don't know the code of it, but I have the Odyssey like G9. I don't know, I've had it for a couple of years now, but let me see. Is that a 40-inch? I mean, I'll tell you what, I don't know if I even really talk about this often, but here's what I'm actually excited for. So, a fair portion of my work happens on this bad boy, which I guess I should switch to my, is this gonna work? Did it switch me? Yeah. So I've got a Vision Pro, and on some release soon, they're gonna have a support for ultra wide screen sharing from your MacBook. At which point it's like, what the hell do I even need the monitor for? Like, right? Like I'm pretty excited about that. But they haven't released it yet. They've been talking about it forever, so I don't know. Some people are theorizing it's going to be only for like the M4 Max, which would really piss me off. But we'll see. Okay. So all we want to do here is strategy, password, and we're going to follow the password guide to add this bad boy in here. No, wait, that's not right. Right here. So it's just identity field. That's all that they need. Oh yeah, I need to thank you. All right. Okay. All right, so here's the deal. Is it comfortable? Yeah, it is actually, it's pretty legit. It works. I've had some issues with comfort for like longer stretches, and I've heard from people that like, that it's, you kind of work up to it. And I also have lenses that I've been kind of experimenting with because my eyesight's been changing a little bit. Like I didn't ever need glasses until recently. So I'm still kind of figuring that out. I can only really do it for a couple hours at a time. But then like at the same time, it's like, I only really want to look at a screen for a couple other hours at a time before I like go for a walk and stuff. So I think like, to me, it still feels like it's lacking on the comfort part, but like I actually do use it. I work in it, and there's like actual benefits to it. So we're there. I feel like we've arrived, and now it's like the next version of it is going to be lighter and more comfortable, and we're gonna, what I mean? Like I'm really excited about the way that that's all gone down. So I also need to figure out this weird thing my camera does. Like it like lags. I'm using my iPhone as a camera, but it's not plugged into my, maybe that's actually, maybe I need to plug my camera, my iPhone into the computer to fix that. Instead of using like wireless. I don't know if that's how it works. I don't know if it actually like knows to like use a tether if you have one. Let's see. Try it out. Do I have another USB-C plug? Alright, see if that solves that weird issue. Alright, so here's the thing. We actually like, this might be theoretically, I know there's bugs, right? There's like, it's gonna break when I run it. But this is actually like the whole password setup, which is pretty cool. So let's actually see if we can see it in action. So first, so we're gonna make a new project. And we're gonna install Ash and Ash Postgres. I'm excited. This will be really cool. I've been working on this Ash authentication installers for a long time. I mean, it's one of our more complicated packages by a long shot. And what this actually does in terms of UX is a lot more involved than the other installers, because Ash authentication is generating like application code, not like installing some surrounding stuff that you need to run your app. My desk always wobbles, makes my camera wobble. Anyway, because of that, there's just a lot more to it, and you'll see actually when I actually run these. When I run these, you'll see what I mean. Come on. This part still takes a little too long. It like recompiles when it doesn't necessarily need to, which is a pain in the ass. How did I fix the compiler warning? Oh, I didn't. Did I not publish? I didn't publish a new version of Ash Postgres after fixing the warnings. Yeah, see, it's compiling Ash again. Oh, I guess that does make sense, I think. I need to figure out how to get it to keep that cache around, because we have our own like custom depths compilation step. We have to. Anyway, all right. So, cool. Ready for the big shebang? Okay, so first I'm going to mix igniter.install Ash authentication Phoenix. Oh. So this should do, yep, it's gonna go look that up. Gonna take me through an installation. It's gonna say, yeah, we need Ash authentication to be installed. Oh, and I'm gonna say use picosat elixir. What happened to my music? Oh, it's back. All right. All right. Sorry, I got distracted. Let's install and keep moving. Yeah, see, it shouldn't have to be compiling. Oh, it does, actually. It does. I always keep thinking it doesn't, but picosat elixir is a dependency of Ash. It's an optional dependency of Ash, and so it requires recompiling Ash after we bring that in. So it's doing the right thing, I guess. Just annoying that it has to do that. It would also help to just make Ash compile faster. Like, there's a bunch of compile time dependencies internally in that project that I just haven't had a chance to disentangle. If there's anybody who wants to take a stab, I would love you forever. Cool. So, installing Ash Authentication Phoenix. It sets up. My light just fell off the back of my monitor. How far? That was surprising. Hold on. Let me put this back on. So it sets up. What have I done? Oh yeah, I can't. That's not my editor screen. I was like, why can't I click into this? So it sets up all of our routes. It sets up a shell for where we can put our live view routes that have, that require authentication, all that sort of stuff. Does some plugs. Sets up a live view user auth tool, basically. Like, this is the on mount hook that powers the other routing stuff. Sets up a controller for handling like the web side of, or like the HTTP side of authentication. Configures some secrets, needs a Postgres extension, ensures that the Ash authentication supervisor is running, and then it creates our users resource and our token resource, which is pretty great. So all that together, yeah, we get config, we get everything we need pretty much, which is awesome. So I'm going to say yes, we can do this. And it's got to do this is the part it shouldn't have to do. Now it shouldn't have to recompile hash, but you can't fix all these problems all at once. So I'm just gonna let it be. It's less annoying for me because my computer's really fast. I'm sure there are other people that's like more annoying for, you know, when these things take like 3+ minutes or something. It's like, so I need to work on it, but one thing at a time. Oh look, get text. I'm amazed. Oh wait, I need to mix hex mix archive.install. Have they updated Phoenix New to like not do the? Okay, I think they probably have. I don't know, but in case your get text is out of date, you can run this command to fix it. So that like applied the git text update. All right, so I had one other action item. We don't have patching for the Tailwind config. So I'm gonna go put this in there. And with just that, I should be able to pull up. All right. I can go to run migrations. Yeah. Because I created this database before. All right, come on. All right, so now if I go to /sign in, what we'll see is interesting is we just get this empty page, right? So this is what it looks like when you don't have any authentication strategies set up. So there's like we don't know how to sign you in. We don't know how you want to sign in, etc. Which is not how you always would have one, otherwise you wouldn't be using hash authentication. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have it use hash authentication from my local path. And then I'm going to try our new command. So, okay. Add strategy. Oh yeah, right. We don't need these. Right. So now if I go back to our example app and I say, let's compile first, just make sure everything's hunky-dory. All right, ready for the big one? So it's a mix igniter.add strategy. I should get yelled at about a positional argument missing. Oh, mix igniter.patch.add strategy. We've been going with this naming convention. I'm still, I don't know, maybe it's a bad idea, but like igniter.gen, which is like designed for, so a task that it can modify other things, but it's designed to create something, and igniter.patch, which is designed to like create a new thing. And I'm not sure if I'm a fan of this naming convention. It feels like a little bit, I don't know, stuffy, but we'll see. Igniter, oh, it's also not igniter, hash authentication. All right. Yeah, so it's going to say must provide one or more values for positional argument strategies. Okay, so if I say something random, it should tell me that's not a strategy I know how to install. Yep, available strategies, register and sign it. These shouldn't raise errors actually. Like stack traces are stupid, I feel like, in a CLI tool, right? Probably. Let me see if I can fix this in Igniter. We have like required positional argument. Yeah, instead of raising, we should like mix.shell.error. something like this. I guess there is a benefit to raising, which is like theoretically something composing this mix task could like rescue the raise, but I don't know. It just feels weird. Okay. Maybe I should add like igniter dot. We have igniter.util.io. I should add like a dot exit or something like that, but it's fine. Mix.shell.error. Okay, so now that'll get fixed when I next deploy igniter. But for this one, at least in here in our add strategy, we have a raise somewhere. So here I can say mix.shell.error. So now if I do the same thing in my app, I should get just a slightly better. Yeah, that looks so much better than having all this crap at the bottom. Okay, so let's use password. Let's see what happens. See if I broke anything. What I should do actually is commit everything, that way I can roll this back if I apply it and there's a problem. All right, now we can do it for it. I don't think that I don't have chat aggregation set up with Agora TV. I mean Algora. Algora. Let me go check and see if there's anybody on that chat, because I see there's people hanging out there, but oh wait, it is coming through in here. Oh, it's doing chat aggregation somehow. How the hell does that work? Chat from other places is being aggregated here. Huh. I don't know how Algora is doing that, but it's cool. Well, never mind, we're good to go then. All right. So it's saying we want bcrypt elixir, right? We're gonna add the identities here, the attributes here. We're gonna add a bunch of actions. So password, reset password, get by email, request password reset, register with password, sign in with token, sign in with password. And oh, there is one more thing I need to do. It's not just enough to set the identity field in here. I need to configure the resettable setup. Resettable setup. Let's see. Is that in the? I feel like this should resettable. Huh. Do we really not have it? Where do we document password resets? I guess maybe just in the DSL. Yes, the DSL is resettable. There's probably some missing docs on our end here, but man, there's not even an example. It just says, oh, we're gonna have to generate a sender. Oh, what a pain in the ass. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. For now, though, let's just get it right in our add strategy patch here. Which is add new strategy, say resettable, and then we'll say sender. So we're gonna need a name for this sender, and I actually forget how we do the like, how do we recommend people name their senders? myapp.confirmations, that's one way to do it. Account, okay, dot senders. Yeah, okay, we'll do it like that. It's a little bit, we'll just keep it with the convention. It's not my favorite. So this will look like we need to make a new sender in here and generate reset. So we will say igniter.project.module dot create module. This will be module.concat options user senders dot. Okay, and so the sender for password reset, I guess I should look at one of my own apps. Send password reset email. Is this the sender? Yeah, it is. Looks kind of like this, and we're not going to make any assumptions for them. So we are going to generate this module. Okay. So what do we say? Senders dot. This will be. What did I call it? Just send password reset email. Okay. All right. So these need to be escaped. Yeah, so the password reset emails, the way we're going to do this, we don't need this for now. That's fine. Good. And we're going to just, I wonder, do we have like an example? Like, do we just use like console output? And, you know, we have delivery. Yeah, all right. So what this is gonna look like, oh, I didn't need to close that, is we're gonna have to just give them like a stub, like of what they might do, you know, like something like, do we have the domain anywhere in here? I guess we can assume. We'll assume that it's, yeah, we'll just say example domain. Yeah, I agree. It's not super cut and dry. So I guess for just this ad strategy one, I could just not do the patch thing because, you know, there's only one place where we actually do that elsewhere. So maybe I should just get rid of this like concept of patch and just say hash authentication.add strategy. Okay, yeah. Patch is stupid. It doesn't, it's like this creates a bunch of things in addition to modifying other things. Like it's just give them a name what they are, because it's like, yeah, you're just doing a lot of different things. Okay, where was I? Yeah, so I need the sender name. That's annoying. So let's say password or just sender. Like this. Generate reset sender. All right. And then I was in the middle of doing this thing right here. Okay. So we're gonna have to say example domain equals options user module split list.drop last module.concat. I think let's see how this does what I think it does. Yes. Okay. So we're just going to guess that that's the domain name because it's just an example for them anyway. It doesn't have to be perfect. So we will say now inspect example domain.emails.send password reset email, and then we'll say something like this. We'll just say, pass in the token and figure it out. It's not a big deal. But what we'll do instead is something like this. We'll say, click this link to reset your password. That's actually kind of annoying. I don't even know what, I don't know what host and port they're going to be running on. And I don't think that, I guess, I think I am using I'm using verified routes. I guess I could just actually go for that here to reuse web module or what do we say? Use web module verified routes. It's a little bit of a leap to do this, but maybe it's worth it. It'll be a lot more fluid for users. And then we'll do something like this. Let's just find out. Let's just try it. This would have to be, what does URL look like? We have yeah, it's URL. Like this. Okay, so it's URL. Am I importing that, or is that just use we built web verified routes gives us, okay. So that gives us URL. I think this is the most idiomatic way to do it. I'm not actually string interpolating this, but I do need the web module. And then token is also not. Okay. Hey, Jonathan, how's it going? What's the problem here? I've screwed something up. Oh, it's the... Wait, what happened to my little example of what I was gonna use? I lost that. Okay. It would really be nice. I mean, I think at some point, the mailer stuff can kind of be set in stone, and maybe this is just going to be the default instead of, because I'd have to add a whole thing, to add to the mailer for this thing, instead of all the string escaping. Yeah, I mean, kind of. Probably. How do we do that for a create module? Well, right now, create module expects a string. I could fix that. I mean, I happen to own both of these packages, but for now, I'm just going to leave it as a string. It would be better though. Yes. It is, I think, kind of, it's the same thing at the end of the day, but okay. I mean, it's the same thing, but also this sucks. All right. Create module. There was some, actually I kind of remember there was reasons. Create new file. Okay, there are some reasons not to do this. It has to do with the formatter, with the dot formatter stuff not being applied when you like stringify it in here, and so it will like add parens. And so in order for that to work, what I would need to do, what would I need to do? Create new file. And it's complicated. That would have to take quoted for elixir stuff. That way it gets like formatted properly. Okay, it's better, you're right, but I'm not going to do it right now because there's other considerations. Okay, so now this should theoretically, if I go back to my app, this should give me a sender. It will, yeah, I rename the task. It's not attached, just authentication to add strategy. All right, so we get a sender in my app account, users, senders, send password, reset email. That's not right. This is another example probably where if it was quoted code, it would just look right. So we get a sender, this looks good. We show how you might do it. But for now it just inspects to the console. So this is an interesting question about like, I think for the first pass, I'm not going to do this, but that eventually we should actually know how to do this. Because like, if you look at like a regular Phoenix app, you get like emails when you generate like, when you generate a context, and this like, we can adopt this thing. We can assume it's swoosh if the dependency is there, you know, and then we can actually add a function in here that will deliver an email that's like properly formatted and that sort of thing. Do I want to do that now? Do I want to do that now? I feel like maybe I do want to do that now. What we can do, yeah, we can do this by, do I have the inclination? Okay, I've got to get better about saying no. So I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna let this be not perfect for now, because that's what has to happen to make progress on these things. And I'm going to accept these changes and see what happens. Okay, so, oh right, that's not strategy password. How did that happen? Oh, that's in here. It's password. All right, so I'm not gonna regenerate. I'm just gonna. So the igniter can confirm that it's like syntactically correct elixir code. Okay, this should, if I'm not going to use it in the generator here. All right. But it can't confirm that it's actually not going to have any problems. So required type option not found, receive option sensitive, allow nil. An argument password confirmation. Wait, really? Password confirmation doesn't have a type argument? Oh shit. It doesn't. Okay. the action register with password should have the authentication.strategy.password confirmation validation present. Okay. And it does not. Okay, well, that's an easy fix. That's right here. I think this, no, that's reset password. And this one does have, oh no, wait. That's the wrong thing. And then this needs to also, needs to be on the register with password as well. In this is register with password, and then I need to update reset password to not be doing the same change twice. That should, so this, okay. So what doesn't it like now? It says reset password cannot be done atomically because these changes, yes, okay, so I need to add to reset password. Should I just try, maybe I might be able to actually add atomic validations for these. So what is it? It's reset token validation. Yeah, because we're gonna, okay, because the reset token should never be an expression. So what this would look like is, let's see, reset token validation. Okay. So we're gonna say, we're gonna do this, yeah, we can just do the same thing. We can just say, so what this looks like is basically we're going to get all the same stuff. We change that.resource action name. We could get that. We can get an argument. We can verify it. We can update it. Yeah. And this is the whole thing. The way that, can we just, I got to double check if we can just return okay from an atomic validation. Yes, you can. Okay. So the reason that this works is because token should never be an expression or anything like that. And so we just assume it's a string. And if you try to pass in an expression, then it would fail. And probably what we can do is, I mean, it's an argument. An argument can never be an expression in the first place. So yeah, we're fine. Okay. So now this should just have one less thing in the list. Oh yeah, I need. Okay. So that's now it's password confirmation validation. So this one's actually really interesting because this is just a copy of, I see, okay, this is kind of the difference. It's a copy of the built-in confirm, but it only does it if confirmation is required, I guess. Which is, okay, that's fine. But what that means is in the same case, because these are both operating off of arguments, is the atomic callback is going to be the same. Oh, that's what I should do though on this reset token validation. What am I thinking? We're just going to call validate. Why would I copy that whole thing in there? Or we're just going to do the same thing here because both of these are operating purely on arguments. There's no reason why they can't do their work up front. They don't access the change set data. Okay. What's another one? Hash password change. This one should be able to be done atomically as well. Hash password change. Because, let's double check. Password field, we're hashing the value, which is from an argument, and then we're changing an attribute. So this one will be slightly different because atomic changes don't just return a change set with a changed attribute. We have to do it slightly different. Arg1, Arg2, I should fix those names. It's context. So what this will look like is it's kind of interesting. We need to do something lazily, and we have a lazy expression. Yeah, so that should be fine. So what I should be able to do is I should be able to say expert. So what this looks like is, what does the atomic callback thing? You can see, like, I know how all this stuff works, but how often I'm actually writing individual changes. It's not very often these days. So okay, change set, but what we want is we want this. This atomic change set and some changes. So I am going to duplicate this logic here, at least this much. But it's going to be a bit different. So what we're going to do is we can do everything but the actual hashing up front. And then here we're going to return. We can't get to this branch anymore. And so we're going to say, okay. What was that? Atomic change set. And then here we can say strategy.hashed password field. And then this will be lazy. Now I need to remember what lazy looks like. Lazy. Runs a provided MFA, returns result as a no value. Yeah, right. So this will be lazy. You know, there is one. I'll have to double check and make sure that it's properly hiding sensitive fields in the change set atomic key. So this will be lazy, and then it'll be this module hash. Then I need the hash provider like this. So we'll say strategy. And then it'll be value. And then we don't need this. Call this hash or raise because that is what we're doing. So we're going to get the hash provider and the value. Now we're going to say like this case. And what we had here was this. We had like a raise assumption failed going on here, right? It was this. Okay. So now this one can be done atomically. I'm pretty sure I broke that, but the tests will show that as being the case. Strategy, right? This is just hash provider. So now on compiling my app, we're going to get this one more on this generate token change. So let's take a look at that. Generate token change. So I believe, yeah, this just adds an after action hook, which is acceptable in in atomic callbacks as long as you make it explicit. So I need to fix that crap. That's in ash. That's in change at callback atomic. Right. So this is to fix that. It is change set ops context. Now it will pick that up on the next release, so it won't be so ugly. And then we can just say, okay, change. Just like that. All right, so let's see how we did. Should get no more warning. It's a bunch of atomic implementations of these changes, which is great. So now, theoretically, if I didn't do anything wrong, I should be able to log in with, look, see, I don't know, this is like an hour ago at this point, but when I first loaded this up, when there was no strategies, right, all of this just did its thing. And if I go back to my user resource, I should be able to show this like side by side, which is pretty cool. So if I go to strategies, and I save this and I refresh this, right? So there's no strategies. And so all of this stuff is generated. Like, this is a lot of code, but you don't need it. You don't, like, this actually gets added dynamically under the hood. So if all you did was went and you added this, all of those actions would still be there, but they would be invisible. And that's what we're trying to actually discourage in a way, right? Which is we want you to use this generator to make these actions visible so that you understand how you're meant to use a resource that uses Ash authentication. But this is the code that actually does the work, which is quite cool. So with just that one generator command, you would get a login form here. And now let's see if it actually works. It did not. Let's see. Oh, undefined call. Yeah, right. We need to. Oh, we should add, I see what we should do. On Ash authentication, out in the installer or in this add strategy, we're going to add at the bottom, I think it's called ash.igniter.codegen. And then we'd say like add password authentication. So I'm not going to run that. I'm not going to run the installer again. Actually, yes, I am. Because now we know that I fixed all those problems. So let's see if it works again. So add password strategy should just work on its own right out of the box. And this time it's going to prompt us to run a CodeGen task to add password authentication. So yeah, you see it does all the crap that we wanted it to do from before. And now I can say yes, add password authentication. Or I can say yes, and it's going to run that task now at the end, right? So now I just have to run mixash.migrate. And if I hadn't, I would have actually been prompted to when I opened up the web browser thanks to the Phoenix Ecto tooling, which is really cool. Okay, so now all right, so I am logged in. I can actually, if I go to my home, you know, I can just drop up here like, can I? I don't think this assign is going to be available there, but is this not, where does it, you know, peace of mind here? Okay, yeah, cool. So that, yeah, because we set that assign in all of our stuff, like when we modified the router. So that's, look at that, one command. I'm going to do that again just for dramatic effect. I'm going to run, well, actually I'm not, because I have to drop my migrations and stuff. I don't feel like doing that, but it works. We did it. Beautiful. And you can go straight to actually using that user in your home template, etc. One thing I did remember, I just need to fix, is in the documentation, the get started guide, we have example like this, and this is should not be a 3 because that's the end of the tabs, right? Yeah, okay, that's fine. I had to make sure that I didn't forget to fix that because it made our tab sets look wrong in the getting started guide. All right, so the last thing to do is to test this. We need to write some tests because this is all very important stuff. So first, let me get rid of this whip commit. Add mix hash authentication dot add strategy password. Cool. So the way that we will test this is actually pretty straightforward. It's going to be a lot of like manual crap to do it because we want to test like that the code gen all looks exactly the way that we just said it ought to look. We tested that it works and that sort of thing. So what we're going to do now, we have this install test, right? And you can see the way it works is we call our task and then we assert on all of these different files. We assert, you know, okay, here, this file looks like this file looks like this, etc. So we're going to do pretty much the same thing. It's going to be boring. And I think actually, because it's going to be boring, I think I might just call it a day for streaming, because nobody's going to want to watch me just go through and like, I guess I'll show the process for what we would do for one of them, just so that there's, you know, it's maybe got some interesting bits in there. So ash authentication add strategy test. And I want to go to this. Is this the one? Yeah. Add strategy test. So we're going to set up these, do this basic setup, and then just get rid of all the rest of these. And what we're gonna do, so first we're gonna make sure that that Ash authentication itself has already been installed, and then we are going to apply the igniter. So what this basically means is at the start of each test, we're gonna have a project, like a project called test, that has already got Ash authentication installed, and so we can go from here to you know, test like what has been changed. So if I were to say assert unchanged, right, and then I were to run this test, what doesn't it like? Oh, I typed add with 3Ds. Okay, so it says, yeah, nothing's changed, and that's because I haven't done anything. So now I can say igniter.compose task Ash authentication add strategy, and then the arguments would be password. So I should actually do this with password. All right. So now my assert unchanged should fail, probably with a lot of output, like too much output. Now that I think about it, it's going to spit out the whole diff, I think. Get rid of the tricky. Come on. Right. So it's like, yeah, look, these are all the diff. This is all the diff that was there. It's not actually, wait, this isn't as much as I would have expected. We have the changes to the user resource. We have the sender. Wait, that is actually all that goes into, that is actually all that goes into it? It is. All the rest of the stuff we were looking at before was from the, yeah, all right. Okay. this is actually really straightforward then. I'm just going to finish this while we're on stream because that's easy enough. Assert has patch. This file is what, lib test accounts user. I really, really regret making the default test, like the test project's name is test. It's really confusing. It was such a stupid idea. I might change it in 1.0 or something, because it should be called something like my project. That way it's like not going to get confused with like test files. It was just so stupid. Okay. So that test should pass now. I'm just gonna, honestly, I can just do this all in one test because right now it's gonna be pretty straightforward. So say installation, so say creates, I should do them in separate tests, like a good boy. All right. Adds the password strategy to the user. All right. So now we can do a test that it adds the bcrypt dependency. The bcrypt dependency. All right, so we can say assert has patch mix.x's, and then that patch was somewhere right here. I'm actually, by the way, really proud of the testing story for Igniter. I think the principles that make it all like stageable changes and like nothing actually like modifies until you run it, all that sort of stuff, actually made it quite easy to give it like this sort of first class testing story where we can create a test project, we can just call our normal functions on it, right? And, you know, compose our tasks, and then we can just assert that these patches exist. It's actually like relatively straightforward. Like we grab the stage changes, we assert that there's a given diff, right? Like it's quite nice. Okay, so what are the other things? We got the bcrypt dependency. Okay, so we want to assert that we created this module. Okay, so this will be same thing, and then we'll say assert creates with these contents. Oh, you know what? We can't just create this sender, because it's not a guarantee that you are okay. It's not a guarantee that you are actually using Phoenix. I remember now why. Yeah, this is where it kind of gets a little interesting, right? So okay, so fancy with me. Yeah, that's a good point. It's like random little stuff like that I like never remember, and I don't really stop to like make it pretty later on. But it is much it's much nicer. Wait. But that can do interpolation, right? Or no? Yeah, it can. But I guess I could do like, can you do like triple anything with sigils? Is that a thing? Can I do like this? Or can I do like, that's not a good one. Because I still have to escape these, right? Otherwise it thinks it's over. Is there some fancier way to do that? To like not have to, I guess like how could it possibly know? I would have to use a different delimiter. So what would that even look like? Like what's a good delimiter? Like I can't use, yeah. It's hard to have like individual, I think it's lower, no, it's, yeah, uppercase does not do interpolation. But so basically then with what you've given though, at least I only have to escape these closed, actually probably don't have to do this one. No, I do. I have to escape just the 3 quotes. Oh, I can use single quotes. Well, doesn't that like break as soon as there's, I can't use single quotes on multiple lines. Yeah, because it thinks that now these quotes are closing it. So that doesn't work. But this is still better. So what I need to do here is we need to conditionally create the sender module. Lowercase, triple, single quotes. Oh. All right. This is the kind of thing though, like I get it, and this is better, but I'm like such a steam train when I'm look, I got it. Your chat is behind, all right? You know, have some grace here. When I'm doing these things, I don't know, like it's good. It's a good change. But also like I hate the concept of like sitting here figuring out like which one of these isn't gonna break. Oh wait, this one I do want interpolation. So stupid. Yeah, see, look, this is what's interesting. There are, okay, in this particular one, some places I want interpolation and some places I don't. So I do actually need to escape the interpolation. Hey, Kamara, how's it going? I know I probably mangled your name, but good to have you. Yeah, so I want interpolation in these two, but not in this one. So I do actually need the interpolation. But what I need to do here is I need to do create reset sender, and it's going to take the igniter, so this will be part of it. And if the web module, if there is a web module anywhere, then we can, or something like that. Okay, so Phoenix. I think we're gonna do it like this. We're just gonna say if igniter project module exists, igniter web module, module line. Oh my god, where was it? Here, right? Okay, thank you. Okay, so if the web module exists, are you? We're gonna do it like this. Another advantage of string interpolation, for what it's worth. Oh wait, I always forget. There's a reason I removed the question mark from this. Interesting, Algora buffered a lot. Okay, I mean, I look, I don't care which one people use at the end of the day. So just You should be on the platform you enjoy. Okay, so we are not going, so here we'll say use web module. And then here, oops, we'll say, call this like real example. And we'll say, okay. I don't have the, where's the example domain? Here. Okay. This looks right now to me. Oh, we need the sender module here. Yeah, it could be something like that. I know what I've seen in the past is that they had like actually like really good latency also compared to other things. So it's impossible. I can't like, you know, really inspect it while I'm streaming, but yeah, it also like might be worth bringing up to them. Like I'll send a message to I don't know how to say his name, but I've got a contact. I'm messaging him right now. Back to reality. Now what we will see, okay, if I run our ad strategy test, our sender is going to look different, and we're going to test both versions of this. Right, yeah, so it's like, yeah, you don't, this is the diff it's showing us. So what we're going to do is we're going to first, we're going to say igniter.project.module.create module. Test web, I think is just what we would do, test web. And this doesn't need to have anything in it. But now this should get us back just by test web existing, which is also a little iffy, but it's fine. We're just gonna let it be. Somebody who's using not Phoenix and has a test web module will, or like a MyApp web module, might get the wrong installer, and we will cross that bridge when we get to it. Expect an elixir module, yeah, right, okay. These tests are slow. I wonder why they're so slow. Shouldn't have to read anything from the file system to do this. Might be the module exists check. Probably is the module exists check. That's something I want to do for Igniter soon, is whenever we bring in a source, we should check to see what modules are defined in that source. And cache that information. So when you say like module exists, we already know like, yeah, it exists and it's over here. And then there's also a way when you say, you know, update module, that we could then know exactly where that module is. So that's something that really needs to be added to Igniter. Okay, so that test web didn't work, which is interesting. Let's see, so let me just run just this one test. We're looking for if web module exists. So the web module is what? All right, let's see. Yeah, it's test web, and it should exist. Let's see. It's going to say it doesn't. So what have I done? Test web does not exist. So if we go here, no, here, we're creating the test web module. I wonder if it needs to have some kind of contents. That would be pretty wild if that's the case, but it probably is a bug in our checking for modules existing. Okay, so that's not the problem either. Have it show me what it's putting in that file. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Yeah, so it sees the test web module. Huh. How interesting. Okay, let's take a look. This is a bug in Igniter, I would assume. So module exists. So find module. So we include all elixir files. Get all the ex. All right, let's just. I'm gonna put Igniter as a local dependency. So let's see what it finds when it's checking if the module exists. I feel like I'm going to get a bunch of crap printed out here because it's like the module name. It's probably, no, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm using that. If anything else I'm doing, we'll call this find. Ah, shit. All right, let's do this differently. So let's see what it's finding when it calls include all elixir files. And actually I should also make sure that include all elixir files does the right thing. So we get source folders, enum.reduce, include glob. Yep. And include glob knows that it's in test mode. Okay. So let's see what, okay. So are we finding well, no, this is right. So first we include, yeah, these are all new sources. And that's correct. So is test web not appearing whenever we're going to find, you can see here, this is the call. Right, when we inspect the module and then we say, well, does it exist? And it's not seeing test web for some reason, which is very interesting. So that's going to be, let's take a look. Where do we have that? That inspect somewhere. Oh, well, sorry. Like getting into it, half my work's off the screen. Sorry, everybody. So Igniter map.get rewrite. This is the right thing to do here. The rewrite should have the paths, but at least I can see maybe it doesn't think it's an elixir file for some crazy reason. Let's see. Okay, so just not finding test web. Okay, but if I go in here to our, no, not here. If I go here, well, maybe it's losing it somehow. If I go to my add strategy test, right here. So it's gonna be something stupid, I bet. Oh my god, it's so stupid. I have to create the module before I call add strategy. I knew it. I feel like that's like the #1 like debugging thing in these situations is to stop assuming that the bug is like anything other than something really stupid that you did, and then you start looking for the actual thing. Like I'm over here like debugging all sorts of crazy shit in Igniter, and the problem was all right, well, let me just remove this. The problem was like nothing. I just put one function too late in the pipeline. All right. Okay, so now if I go to add strategy, I can get rid of these, and we should see the proper diff. Yay. All right, so add strategy test. No, add strategy test. There you go. So now we're going to test the same thing when you don't have. So it creates a Phoenix idiomatic. It's not really that idiomatic, but this is like our current best shot at it, which is to like use verified routes and all that sort of crap. So now I'm going to do one. If you don't have, creates a plain one if you are not using Phoenix. So if I don't do this and I just do this, now what should happen is that shouldn't be there and this shouldn't be there. And I think there's one more file that we need to test. We have the user changes, we have the bcrypt dependency changes, we have the reset sender. Not actually sure what other file are we changing. I know there's something, I'm just blanking on it. I do need to figure out why these tests are so slow. I don't think there's any good reason for them to be slow running in test mode. So I think something's like reading the file system, or it is our just repeated parsing and hunting down modules. One of those two things. All right, so let's run one of these tests again on line 47, sure. And I want to, let's diff. I'm gonna inspect like the whole thing so that I can remind myself what the different files are. So bcrypt elixir, the sender. Okay, we have the user changes. Right, duh, that's the big one. All right, so we need to get all of these different patches tested, and then we're gonna be good to go. So what this looks like is, just comment this stuff out real quick. Let's do the easy one first. We'll say it adds the identities. It adds the identity to the resource. So That's 35 from that one. All right, the folks at Algora are on it. So now we want to say that it adds the attributes. So in our case, it should be these guys. Say to the user resource. So that's 45. And the last bit will be these read actions. Not read it, just the actions in general. Right, this is all one big patch, and I'll just... It might be nice to break these up in the future, but I'm just going to do it as a single patch. It's the password actions too. So here's a single patch test. Typing this out by hand. I don't understand. All right. Sometimes I feel like I like type things out by hand instead of copying them sometimes, just so I have like a second to think, or I'm like zoning out, and so I'm just like, I'll just type it. It's like, you know, it's a very brain intensive work that we do, and I feel like it can be nice sometimes to just type for a second. What the hell? My visual mode isn't working. There we go. Whoa. The big dip. That's a lot of stuff we're generating. Interesting. I should have added the ash formatter, but I don't want to have to change all of these patches to not use parens. So actually these lines are ignored. It's a good question, but these lines are ignored. I'm just adding them because actually I'm pretty sure I made it so these lines are ignored. I'm just copying in it's everything after the pipe that's tested. What have I done? I did this right here. Which is actually probably bad, like that the line number is ignored now that I'm saying that out loud, because it's like, it's just nobody really wants to test the line number, right? Like not usually, because it's like the whole point is you don't know where in a resource this stuff could happen, right? Like it could, the formatter could change where things go, and like you really, it's just that you want to test that these lines were added or removed. So I'm pretty sure. What doesn't it like about these? Oh, I guess I'm wrong. I thought I could have sworn I made it ignore these, but I guess it does actually care about the line numbers. Yeah, I think it would probably make sense to support something like this, like where if you don't include the line numbers, maybe that's what I did. I don't remember. Let me see. If you don't include line numbers, does it do what it's got to do? Let's see. Yeah, so that doesn't work, but that's probably what I should do to make it so that it's like line number agnostic. Is if I go to here, I say assert has patch. So in this logic here, when we sanitize the diff, okay, so there's a couple ways we could, yeah, that is annoying when the way we do this assert has patch is we actually we make them look the same and then we assert that one is in the other. So I'm wondering if I should do something like, opts. So then you can say like assert has patch, line numbers true or something. That's pretty ugly too. Or maybe I think the real thing would be, so in your patch that you give us, it would be something like this, like if has line numbers patch, we do something like diff equals it's probably even here actually, has line numbers compare patch. Oh, actually, the compare patch is being based off of the diff. The hell? The actual, if actual raise invalid patch. Oh, it should contain at least one compare character. All right. Anyway, going back to this. So if has line numbers compare patch, the ash or igniter dot test. We would say compare diff else remove something like this. So we need these two functions to exist. String.split enum.a, then we would split on a pipe, only two parts. So we would say if you get an error, then no, it does not have a thing. And if you get empty string, you can't get an empty string, so it'd really be true. Okay. So if any of the line numbers starts with a number before the first, we don't actually have to split on this because that's how this works. Like it has to be, yeah, so we don't need this. We just string.trim line. All right. So then what we need is remove line numbers. Simplification. All right. Didn't work. It's supposed to be on do not disturb. There we go. All right. So removing line numbers is a little bit interesting, but I think it's basically just string.split before each line enum.map join. You nerd sniping on this question. I'm like, it's an interesting problem. So here it's going to be string.replace beginning digits with an empty string. So now if I run this test on 23 again, we should pass if I did my job right, which I probably didn't. Never do it right the first time, right? Yeah, okay. So let's start with this. We'll say has line numbers. The other thing though is, does it work that way if we... Yeah, I'm gonna have to see. It could be something else in the way we're sanitizing the diff. Like maybe has line numbers is working, but there's something wrong with, yeah, I don't know, let's just see. Okay, so it's saying that it does not have line numbers, so that's right. But it is not, this looks to be incorrectly trimming. Okay, so what I need to do is fix remove line numbers. Might just be this. I can also just it's probably gonna be easier. So if I have something like 1, what does it look like? Yeah, 1 plus Nader.test remove line numbers. Why doesn't it? Okay. Yeah, so that's not working. String.replace, string.trim line. Am I getting this wrong? Is that not a, oh. Wait, what? Stupid. No, that's the beginning of the line, right? Or am I... Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay. Need to escape that. Dummy. All right. Now let's see how we're going. Oh, that's a nice idea. Instead of, well, does string dot starts with take a regex? Just says, no, yeah, it only takes a string. So I don't think I could use a regex in string dot starts with. So I would want to, I could do like starts with 0 through 9 or something, but this works now. So, cool. So yeah, you can not do line numbers, or you can. It's up to you. If you do line numbers, then it'll assert on those line numbers, and if you don't, then it won't. So that's nice. I'm gonna do it just because all the rest of them in here are doing it. But I think we're tested. I think we did it. There's no more. Yeah. So this actually, let's see. Anything that I need for this? Nothing that I need for this, but I will. So what do we do? We allow excluding line numbers in test.assert has patch. And then we have what else? Oh yeah, improvement, prettier errors on task exits. Okay. I'm gonna have to run all of the tests actually. Let's see what else I got wrong here. Let's just real quick do the fast ones up front. I hate linters sometimes. right. So now let's see that all of our CI crap passes, and if it does, then I'll merge this. People can actually give it a shot. I mean, I'm gonna let it bake a little bit in. I guess there's no good reason not to just release this. It works. It's opt-in. I guess there is a good reason not to release this actually, and I'm glad I'm thinking about it. Which is, we did make some we will release it, but I mean not to just release it instantly, right? I'm gonna go test this out in all of our applications and stuff. But the changes that we made to the atomic callbacks and stuff like that, right? So that impacts theoretically existing sign in and stuff like that. Which is, look, to be clear, this is one of the main reasons why we even want to do this kind of thing in the first place, instead of using something that's just like Phoenix Gen Auth, now the code's your problem, is I just upgraded the built-in sign-in action to be, or the built-in, to support atomic update, to like check a token, to reset a password on atomic, to do that update atomically, right? To reset a password can be done without looking up the user in question now, right? And that kind of thing is really powerful and useful for us as a library to be able, and a framework, right, to be able to add that to just give you capabilities. And I think that's like, it can't really be understated that's like why we do this the way that we do this. It's exactly those kinds of things. Okay. Let's see, you got a bunch of crap going on here. This is in password reset request. What? Oh, request password reset. Right. This does not return a query. This returns okay. Never returned since 48. With OK user when not as null user query result. Function application with arguments error whenever returned. Sometimes dialyzer is really. Spec type for the third argument is not a super type of the expected type for the run callback. Okay, let's just, I don't need to do a type spec for a callback. This doesn't need what? Query or implementation. Okay, cool. All right, so the last thing is still this one on line 47. Oh, well, it's not 47 anymore. Will never return. Line 46. Function application with arguments error. Maybe is this a problem on the type spec for AshRead 1? We don't have a type spec for read 1. Really? Wow. So this should be able to return OK record or error, and this could return OK record, and it could also return nil, like OK nil. So now this is going to fix the bug that we're seeing in the other place, but we should now have one. We want one of these for def read 1 as well. Oh my god. this one's not returning an OK or an error. It's just going to return the record or nil here. Yeah, I can't forget you guys can't see my screen when it's over there. I'll see if that kills the dialyzer test for Ash, because maybe that tells us what the problem is, but I'm a little confused about why. Yeah, I screwed that up. I hate that the U button down cases in Vim. I don't know, I just hit it by accident all the time and get this stupid. It's a skill issue, I'm fully aware, but still. Okay, let's try this again. My assumption is it's something with the, like thinking that read one cannot return nil. That's or cannot return OK nil. I can actually just try this. I can just say, well, no, that. Let's see. Does that fix the? Let's see. That adds another error. Just see something real quick. Does that fix the dialyzer? Okay, so we can keep that. Those are nice improvements for Ash, but we don't. That's not. It looks like it's actually this password reset token for user that it doesn't like, which says takes a token or a strategy. That'll do, I think. I hope. Excellent. All right. Okay, so we've added Ash authentication.add strategy task, add atomic implementations for various changes and validations. That's pretty much it. That's what we did. Okay, so now let's pull up this pull request. This is no longer and yeah, I'm gonna merge this as soon as tests are green, as soon as CI passes, and then people who want to try it out, you can try it out by installing by using main of Ash authentication, the Ash authentication package, and we'll have that out, you know, before long. But I do need to test Ash authentication in various apps to make sure that the atomic callbacks aren't causing any problems. There's no compelling reason why they would, but that's not how bugs work. Bugs always happen that you don't expect, not that you do. Cool. Well, I had a great time today. I actually got a lot of crap done, which I feel like last couple times I've been on stream. Well, actually, last time I had a guest, Leandro, who was really awesome, and we made a lot of progress on the beacon igniter installers. But the time before that, I set out to do what I did today, and instead I wasted a bunch of time. I spent the whole time fixing one bug in Igniter. And it wasn't exciting or fun. So we actually got something done today. We got about 1,000 lines of code PR in that looks good. It's good. We did it. Fuck. Pardon my French, but I gotta fix that part. Here. Okay, now we got our PR in. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I'm gonna hop off, and I'll see you potentially on Wednesday. We'll see. Tentative plans.